Lee Hindrichs here again. Welcome back. I'm so glad you're here to see part 3, and hopefully we'll find some solutions that work in your life as well. So again, Lee Hindrichs from Proactive Health Style, and we're in part 3 of adrenal fatigue. We'll cover a little bit more of what's happening, a bit about testing, and something about solutions as well. And again, the legal disclaimer: none of the information in this video series is meant to diagnose, prescribe, or advise. Advice, I guess, as well. We want to look at sleep, just leading off from where we were in video 2 on some of the effects that cortisol has on the body. So normally cortisol has a certain rhythm that flows through the body. It's a circadian rhythm. And interestingly enough, those times of day when we have breaks and lunch, so usually we have, those needs for sugar, like at coffee break time, lunchtime, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, all those are when our cortisol is kind of crashing out, and that's why we want to have that increase of sugar. But with that circadian rhythm, it also affects our sleep habits, our sleep patterns. So when we have difficulty getting to sleep in the evening, it could be that we just have too much cortisol and we're in that fight, flight, or freeze mode where we're in alert. And then during the night, if we wake up during the night, it can be that cortisol dips too low and our blood sugar is not being maintained. So the cells are starving, which sends a crisis letter to the brain saying, wake up, I need food, I need something. The cells aren't happy. So waking up during the nighttime can be a low blood sugar. Or having difficulty just getting up in the morning and feeling fatigued throughout the day. I don't know if you relate to this picture, but that coffee in the morning is just like, oh, please wake me up, give me that kick. So the difficulty getting up in the morning, and then just dragging your butt all day, really good chance the adrenals are strained. The other one we want to look at is sex hormones. I talked earlier on and said that as we age and we hit middle age and menopause, the adrenals are responsible for the creation of all of our sex hormones. So when we have adrenal fatigue and we have that decreased production of DHEA, we have a decreased sex drive, we can tend to weight gain, you don't feel very good about yourself, you feel kind of old and tired and foggy, etc. Which leads to a lot of physical and emotional effects. And you're also, for women, you're going to have estrogen dominance. And the estrogen dominance has a whole other string of problems associated with it. The other thing that's going to be affected is our brain function. Normally, when that first 30 minutes again of cortisol, that gotta do something, you are in fact going to have an improved memory. You are going to be smarter. You're going to have far better cognitive function. You're going to be far better at problem solving. And that's when you ever notice when you're under stress, got the idea, let's go do it. Let's go for it. So a lot of times we like that stress environment because it kind of just bubbles up our problem solving abilities and some great problem solving. But sustained over time, not so great. It atrophies certain parts of the brain, like the hippocampus. You have increasing forgetfulness. You ever do that thing, you walk into the kitchen and can't remember why you're there. You put your keys down someplace, can't find them again. So that increase in forgetfulness. We're having actual death and damage to the neurons as well. Decrease in the creation of the different neurotransmitters, the brain chemistry that either gets us to get up and go or to calm down. More depression, anxiety, panic attacks. So we're seeing a lot of changes in the brain with sustained high levels of cortisol, or conversely when there's no cortisol left. Muscle and bone is the other area that's really being affected as well. So when we talked earlier, when we were talking about blood sugar, how the cortisol will cause conversion from carbs, from fats, from proteins into sugars to feed the large muscles of the body. Well, what's happening there is those nutrients that were meant to build another area are being taken away. So you are going to see bone loss, you see muscle wasting, fat gain, and a lot of pain as well. So the increased energy and performance, that's just when you have the first shot of cortisol, because of course you never run, you got to solve something. After that, sustained levels are going to cause you bone loss, muscle wasting, fat gain, and pain. So that kind of concludes the part of what is happening in our bodies. So I hope you have an idea now of just of the far impact and reach of what our adrenals are doing. So let's look at how do I test for adrenal fatigue. Now there is lab testing available for it. There is lab testing available for it. We look at the standard blood urine tests. They're not very accurate because they're just measuring what's outside of the cell. And where hormones have their actions on the inside of the cells. So that's what we want to know, which is why saliva testing is so much more accurate than blood urine testing, specifically for hormones. And then we also want to do those saliva testings for cortisol levels. You want to have it happen 4 times a day, because you want to follow that circadian rhythm that your body generally secretes cortisol. And when we look at urine testing, what that's measuring is just the spillover of hormones. Now, if you're not able to get off to a lab to get saliva testing done, some quick tests at home that we can do are one that's called iris contraction. With the iris contraction, we're going to take a light, looking into a mirror, you're going to shine a light just across your eye and looking at it. And you should see the pupil contract. And normally, that pupil will contract, and that's a muscle doing that. And the muscle's strong enough to keep contraction in the light because our eyes want to adjust to that. When there's adrenal fatigue, the muscle gets fatigued, the iris is getting fatigued, and it releases. And so you're going to have a dilation of the pupil that's going to last anywhere from 30 to 45 seconds before it recontracts again. So look for that just in the mirror, flashlight, see what happens. What we see a lot of is hypotension and postural hypotension, so low blood pressure. And postural hypotension is when you're laying down and you sit up and you get that faint feeling. That's when your blood pressure kind of drops in your boots because you're changing position, changing altitude, changing gravity a little bit. So certainly you've seen that. Don't take that one as a really final test for it because dehydration can cause that as well. And the last one is really interesting is the Sargent's White test. And this was discovered, I can't remember when, a long time ago. It's more prominent in cases of severe adrenal fatigue. Apparently 40% of cases have this. So you're going to take something like a dull pen, the head of a pin, something like that, and you're just going to drag it down about 6 inches across the belly. And you look at it, and normally what you should get is just a red line appearing, which is going to disappear in like a minute or two. In hypoadrenia, or low adrenal function, a white line instead will appear, and it's going to last for a while. So it's kind of interesting. I know myself, when I've done it on myself, it's not only turned white, but it's expanded and stayed for about 5 or 6 minutes. So kind of interesting. So now we come to the positive part. It is possible to regain your life, and I'm living testimony because I no longer count the stairs to go down and get the olive oil. Sort of telling you earlier, I actually feel pretty fantastic these days. So let's look at what not to do first, because some of the standards are a vicious cycle. I know when you have adrenal fatigue, you want to hit the caffeine and you want to hit the sugar, because those give you like little instant hits of energy. What they do is this little boost of cortisol, so you feel like you're normal, but it's kind of exhausting the adrenals. Using alcohol to cope with stress, again, it's increasing cortisol, which is going to decrease the supplies for DHEA, etc. Lack of sleep also increases cortisol, so all those stressors. And treatment with corticosteroids adversely affect the adrenals. So when you think of the corticosteroid treatments that we sometimes get for suppression of immunity, things like that, those are actually really hard on the adrenals, and it can take the adrenals sometimes months to kind of figure out what they're doing again. So treatment with corticosteroids, although you won't increase cortisol because your cortisol levels are down, that corticosteroid therapy can actually really harm the adrenals. So what do the adrenals need? And here's our health pyramid. And that health pyramid, I think, is really incredible. What we're looking at here is moving to a health style that's promoting wellness, as opposed to just treating disease or treating illness. and responding to symptoms, let's move to a model that promotes health, promotes wellness. So eating right is number one. You have to eat right, exercise, rest and manage stress, and reduce toxic load, inform self-care, and be proactive with medicine when you do need it. First off, I want to touch on emotional intelligence. Now, our intelligence quotient, which we usually talk about, is like how, you know, she's so smart or you're so intelligent. That's just like this much of our functioning. Our emotional body is where it's at. That's what's happening. That's what runs the show. If you've done any studying on goal setting or accomplishment or anything like that, it's almost about how do I harness my emotional being, because that's the strong, that's the willpower. And it's our emotional response to things that drives the adrenals. For example, if the snake in the backyard, let's use that example. So if you've been raised up with a fear of snakes, and you come across a snake in your backyard, your response is going to be, ah, it's a snake, and you're going to set off that fight or flight response. If you've been raised up with snakes that you think they're wonderful, and they've got such neat colors, I love the way they move, you step in the backyard and see a snake, you go, wow, is that her cool, look, come and see the snake. And you are in the rest restore rebuild mode. So our emotional response to things has a huge impact on it. When we talk about food, we want to eat whole foods. None of this processed crap. We all know the processed stuff is bad for us, right? So we want whole foods to balance the blood sugar, and you want to have a little bit of protein at every meal. Now, you'll see this little bowl of Terrazyme up there. I recommend Terrazyme with every meal because it helps to break down our nutrients. It's an enzyme complex. And we want that enzyme complex when we have adrenal fatigue. Because if you remember back to video series number 2, we talked about the digestive system, and it doesn't have, it's not operating properly basically. So it needs some help. So we want to have some enzymes in there. You want to look at small meals during the day frequently. So again, keep that glucose regulated. And complex carbs only. We want to stay away from simple carbs. We want to stay away from alcohol, sugars, and stimulants because they convert to sugar so fast, and that fast conversion into glucose is just going to up our insulin levels some more. Requirements for cortisol production. So cortisol, the production of cortisol production. The requirements for cortisol production. Again, nutrients. So we need vitamin C for it. And the more stressed out you are, the more vitamin C that you need. So I know when I'm going for a stressful day, I'm going to pop a few extra vitamin C's. Bioflavonoids. So bioflavonoids actually double the effectiveness of vitamin C. So it's a really bang for your buck when you start taking those. The B vitamins, really necessary. You hear about the B vitamins being referred to as our stress vitamins, right? And it's because they help to not metabolize fats, carbohydrates. Our B vitamins are stress vitamins. They help to metabolize fats, carbohydrates, and proteins. They're the energy production and the motors for the adrenals. They have formation of some really critical coenzymes for the cascade that creates the adrenal hormones as well. So the B vitamins super, super necessary. And the B vitamins, a lot of those B vitamins are actually created in the gut. So again, that gut health is really important. Vitamin E is another one, an antioxidant to keep things clean and running properly. Magnesium, it's our spark plug for the adrenals, production of energy and enzymes. Calcium helps to settle the nervous system, and all those trace minerals like zinc, magnesium, selenium, lithium, chromium, copper, and iodine, they all have a real calming effect. And the last one is ashwagandha. Ashwagandha helps to normalize cortisol and the sex hormones, and it's also really good for weight loss. I think it's good for weight loss because it regulates cortisol. What I use is the Lifelong Vitality from doTERRA. I have found this incredible for meeting all the needs, all the nutritional needs that I need to make sure my adrenals stay healthy and strong. Before I started on this product, I was, I guess I was 50 and feeling really old. You know, my husband and I have talked for years about buying piece of property and building a clubhouse, and I was like, no way, like just take that back. I cannot handle that big of a project. After I started taking this, 6 months later I was at mountain biking. My energy level, my ability to cope with situations, I feel it. And when I'm out of it, if I go like 4 days without it, I start to really feel it in my body. So I know that I still have too much stress, but I also know this has been helping incredibly. The other thing we want to do is drink lots of water. Most of us are dehydrated, and the cells of our body are calling for water. That little headache that you get could be a call for water. The muscle aches and pains could be a call for water. Water reduces aches and pains, and it's meeting all the cellular needs, all of those chemical processes going on inside of each and every cell in our body needs water. So we hydrate the cell, flush toxins, and it also helps to clarify thought. Exercise is another one, and exercise is one of these things, it's not just to look great and feel good. Stress or exercise also gets the muscles moving. Remember, that's what the body wants to do. It wants to move when it's stressed out. So you'll start to get rid of some of those sugars. That movement of the body also produces dopamine and cortisol. So some of the neurotransmitters, your get up and go neurotransmitters are being produced when you exercise, relieve stress, and help detoxify the body. So exercise, again, make time on a daily basis. And talked about essential oils. Here's a great list of some of the essential oils that you want to work with. I work with the doTERRA oils because I love them, I trust them, and I know how good they are. Quality matters, and doTERRA has the certified pure therapeutic, the CPTG type, and this is really, really important because there's so many synthetics on the market, and those synthetics can do damage. So we don't want to do any harm. If you want to see how to get the doTERRA oils, just go to my website, proactivehealthstyle.com, and you'll see how to get to those. So back to the essential oils. For memory, frankincense. Frankincense has a lot of what's called sesquiterpenes, which penetrate right through the blood-brain barrier, increasing oxygenation to the brain, actually helping with memory and helping with a lot of brain function. For sleep, you can use lavender, serenity, vetiver. There's actually a host of different oils that we can use for sleep. These are probably the 3 most commonly used. Lavender actually helps with serotonin. It's a calmer. It actually tells the brain, shh, quiet down. So it's a beautiful one. Serenity is actually a restful blend. It's a sleep blend that helps, again, helps hormone function, helps neurotransmitter function to calm down and help with sleep. When we look at immunity, when you are adrenal compromised, we tend to be immune compromised as well. So I use things like On Guard, which is a protective blend, clove and cinnamon. My husband, who's away for work quite a bit, and he works, his job exposes him to a lot of crap actually. And he used to be homesick about 20 days a year. And since he started taking On Guard, he's been homesick 1 day in 2 years. So it's pretty impressive. He just takes 3 drops of the On Guard protective blend in a glass of water, downs at the beginning of the day, and he's good to go. For bone health, we want to look at things like clove, geranium, and peppermint. All again are helping with that bone health. Clove is an incredible antioxidant as well. Adrenal support, rosemary, lavender, and basil. And what I do with these ones, I'll just, when I get out of the shower in the morning, I'll just put a drop or 2 of basil in my hand and rub it right over my adrenals, or rosemary. And notice that rosemary is also incredible for memory as well. For muscle and joint function, when you have the pain from it, using our the deep blue blend, again, fabulous for pain relief. And I'm saying these ones because I want to move away as much as possible from over-the-counter medications, because those again have more of a toxic legacy and side effects that leave behind, which are making the body more stressed out. So I want to do everything I can to support the body to get well. And I don't like symptoms like pain, so I do want to still address it, but I don't want to address it with something that's going to give me more problems down the road. For blood For blood sugar and sugar cravings, we have another great oil known as Slim and Sassy, or also it's a metabolic blend. And it was actually originally developed for diabetics because it was stabilizing blood sugars. And the side effect of it happens to be weight loss. So I kind of like that one. And I do notice when I have just a couple of drops in my morning shake is that sugar cravings leave, which is really nice. Blood pressure and heart conditions. A lot of people, just to support the cardiovascular system, we look at ylang ylang essential oil. And that might just be a drop over the heart. We know full well that clove oil supports thyroid function because it is such a massive and master antioxidant as well, another great oil. And then for hormone balance, there's a blend called Whisper and another called Claricalm. Both of them help balance out hormones. I know the Claricalm I had given to a young friend of mine, a young girl who's having massive menstrual cramps. And she put this on, and it was just like, oh, it's a miracle! So I've seen huge things, and with Whisper, with hot flashes, stopping the hot flash right there. So some really powerful tools that we have in essential oils. And finally, I want to look at for that bone and hormone balance. When we are in adrenal fatigue, having this kind of combination blend for the bone health. Getting that proper calcium, getting all the nutrients the bones need, the bone nutrient complex is great. And the phytoestrogen, it sounds kind of counterintuitive, doesn't it? Because we know that we have an estrogen dominance when we have adrenal fatigue because we don't have all that DHA being created that's responsible for our sex hormones. But what happens with the phytoestrogen? Phyto means plants. This is a plant estrogen. And it's circulating in the body, and it takes in the receptor sites of the cell wall where estrogen only gets in. Now, what happens with all the xeno, or the false estrogens, that are floating around in your plastic bottle and food sources and everything else, all this massive attack of the estrogens that we have? Those ones are kind of like estrogen on steroids, right? And they come in and they just charge into a cell. They're not going to stop the weight, and they have huge effects. Well, the phytoestrogens are gentle, and what they do is they block the sites from these really big, powerful guys from getting in, but they will selectively release for our normal estrogen coming in. So it actually helps with estrogen balance. So that's another great one to have for women. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope that you are willing to take a proactive approach to getting your adrenal health in order. Again, my name is Hindrichs, and you can find me at proactivehealthstyle.com. And if you have any questions, please direct them there. I'd love to hear from you. Bye now.